Welcome, glad to have you. Dear elders, young ones, we will continue from where we left off. We have reached the end of these sections. From now on, we will work on our patterns. After that, we will do our best. But before we start, how are you? Are you well? How is it going? How is the fluency? How are the details? How is the image quality? How is the sound? I kindly ask you to write all of these down so that if there is anything we need to do, we can update them. Of course, write them in the comments below. I will be reading them. Dear family, in these episodes, the making of the vertical line, the logic of the horizontal lines, their construction, and actually that we are not following a specific plan here. We are creating our own plans, a free space where each of you creates your own plans. Ground. In other words, once you progress a bit, yes, having this foundation belong to you. After progressing a bit more, what else can I do? Your imagination will start to come alive. At this level, of course, our friends coming from the first, second, and third seasons already know these. I mean, they know these now. For the better ones, their imaginations have now been sparked. And for our new friends, that is the newly joined friends, we deliberately start from scratch each time so that nothing is missing. Our family grows, becomes huge, and we crown each of our courses with success. That's why we try not to miss even the tiniest detail so that you can fully benefit from them. So before we start, I say welcome, and let's continue from where we left off. Dear friends, we had a conversation about the M neckline. This is related to the M being oval. So this straight green line is for the strapless and for the straight body. Well, however, what is the process we need to do right now? A preparation for modest clothing. My dear friends, in some modest clothing patterns, some seams go straight. Yes, there is no problem with this. Look, there is no problem with this. However, in some, it is with handles, starting from the tip of the chest, coming out between the two arms. It turns like this. This middle piece is taken as a single complete piece, so that when a design is made here, when lace or any material is covered, the front piece of the hijab is single. This is so that the seams do not divide the design here. However, this is also fine. What we will do now is also fine. So let's continue from where we left off. Here, between the two products, for this area that I want to show you right away, we said 15 centimeters. We said 15 for sizes 38 and 40. Let this stay like this. I just pinned it like this. Let it wait for us here. The middle of these two lines, what is 15 here? Let me bring a large needle right away. Let me also take the large needles. Detail, detail, detail. I am very detail oriented and I hope this isn't overwhelming you. Being very detail oriented is actually very beneficial. If I were a student, I empathize. Yes, details are important. If you really want to do this job and if I want to do this job, details are very important. That's why I'm not skipping these points. Now let's come to the middle of 15 centimeters. Just like that, 7.5. Here, look, 7.5. I marked here. This, if you see it from the side, it will be clearer. 7.5. Here, dear friends, actually, this 7.5 point tells us that you are going to do a handle work. Do such a work, it says, start like this, finish it to the end. So this is our line coming at 7.5. Take a close look right now. There will be an exit from our line coming at 7.5 like this, and this will become a piece continuing to the chest from here. It will not be cut here. And this will continue from here. This piece will become a piece that comes out from here. So we want a piece that starts here and continues like this. How will it be, sir? Let's do that right away. Now, in my hand, I keep changing the colors of the threads for emphasis. A start from the nipple like this. Look, I made a start from the nipple. In fact, I'm placing two needles here so that if I pull, it will come out. Look, if I pull, you can see it will come out. To prevent it from coming out, I'm placing a second needle. And where do I want to go, for example? From here, my dear friends, I want to go there. However, it can't turn suddenly. If it does, it would be uncomfortable. So let's do something like this now. Let's place it up here so we can see it like this.
7:30 will come like this, by the way. But I want to make the oval shape nicely from here. Why are the turns sharp in our patterns? It shouldn't be sudden so that it doesn't disturb in soft stitching, doesn't disturb in use, and doesn't irritate our eyes. Then I say, let's come here. Look, I started from this end. I want a curve like this. I will make that curve with my hand right now. I continued like this. If it bothers me later, I will make adjustments in front of you again. I continue like this. Now, it's not difficult at all. Not difficult at all. Also, these can vary. By the way, in other videos, there are always differences in hand movements. Sometimes it progresses differently from other stages. Our friends who come from the previous stages must have noticed. Yes, things are going differently. Something different might be happening. Yes, look, I adjusted this part. What did I do? Let me take a look from a distance with you. I combined this with that, and I ended up with a piece like this. So what does this mean? It's a line that continues from here, and I can run my stitching line like this if I want. The question of what happens if we don't make this line might have come to mind. Now, if we don't do this here, teacher, there will be a constant back and forth here that is not fixed outside of this line. We know the way again. Look, we know the way, we make the way. However, the place constantly changes. I mean, our hand technique is good, but here, when one is 7.5, another becomes 8, one becomes 8.5, one becomes 6. There are constant shifts here. Where? I'm talking about the mold itself. I'm talking about your stitching line. In other words, you proceed without a foundation if these lines are not there. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Can we succeed? We can. However, the place where this chest line is constantly changes. The place where this line turns constantly changes. The shoulder line is not exactly in the middle. It constantly shifts back and forth. Since we don't want this, what do? Yes, we will come to this level. First of all, we are setting a path for ourselves. So now, let me take out this measuring tape, but I'm not removing my needle. Let this stay here. Let's bring this right to the center. It seems a bit off to me. This middle line, I want to move without removing the needle. First, I want to stabilize this. Okay. The place where the needle is the path to be taken. So my dear friends, look, my line hasn't been disrupted at all. What happened? It started like this. Let's continue like this. Let's continue from here as well. The exact middle. And when it comes here, it starts to turn. When it comes here, it starts to turn and connects here. Oh, when will we learn the difference? We will understand this when we work on modest clothing sizes. Here, making these turns can sometimes be a bit challenging in patterns, sometimes challenging. But is it impossible? It is not. We can work with different techniques. Now, I am saying let's complete this part like this. I want to move on to the pattern work. I have a bit of excitement on me right now. Dear friends, I can do it like this. Now, different mold masters or friends who know different molds might ask why this is not here, why that is not there, why it is not like this. My dear friends, as I said at the beginning, the draping logic is very different. It is a free space. It does not follow anyone's rules. It follows the individual's own rules. Otherwise, you cannot teach. Otherwise, you cannot proceed. Forcing you to work in the exact measurements I mentioned would be challenging in draping. Draping loves freedom. Draping loves believers. Draping says, yes, work with me, take the foundation, and work with me. Know how to play with the fabric, how to make the paths, then continue on your way. It already says, I will help you. Otherwise, our masters might say, why aren't you doing this here? Why aren't you doing this there? Because of their or your previous pattern experiences, there is a system you have seen from there. The question of why it isn't like this doesn't exist here. In draping, such a question doesn't exist. Draping says, yes, work as you wish. However, other pattern systems say, are you necessarily making a blouse? This is not blouse making, just so you know. First, let's not mix these up. This is a different area. Since it's a different area, don't worry at all and proceed in the best way. I'm placing this last pin here. Look, I'm placing this last pin. When we look at it like this, yes, this part has become the handle. It turned. If I want, this time I am working with my pattern, with vertical striped stitching. If I want, the idea of turning this around like this has formed. So, teacher, what is left of the best? All that's left is to set the armhole. My friends, what we actually want to do here, let me tell you from the mannequins, let me put it this way. I will proceed based on the meter right now. This is our center. Now, this part is clear. The only point I need to decide on first is the balance of this flat area and this flat area. It should be centered according to these two flat areas. The rest is not important. The rest will settle. So when we look at it like this, if this needs to be straight and this point needs to be exactly in the middle, then let me take a look from this side. Let me take a look with you. Where is the armhole? This is the armhole. So let's put a pin mark here to be cautious. I took a vertical pin mark like this. Let's do this on the back as well, just in case. I'm taking precautions.
Let's place my hand here again. Look, you can place your hand like this on your mannequin.
In addition, some of your mannequins with curves have curved arms. With curved arms, you don't need to do this anyway. It has already drawn a path for you there. However, this is different. I also placed my hand properly and took a mark here and left it. Now it says that when you look straight, the armholes cannot pass to this side where these marks are. Let's check the measurement of these two. Look, when we measure from pin to pin, it is 12 centimeters. Let's go down a bit. 12 centimeters. Okay, if approximately 6 centimeters come here, it's fine. If these two are balanced, if this is slipping, it means this line needs to be corrected. However, I just saw that this line doesn't need correction. So I say this, look like this. When I adjust this to 6 centimeters, I updated this for my needle mark. I also updated it to 12 here. Yes, the exact middle of the two is 6. When we look at it like this, it starts from 0 and goes up to 12. The exact middle is 6 centimeters. This means, yes, you can proceed this way. Besides, don't get stuck here now. Especially watch this part repeatedly, you will figure it out. You can also proceed by estimation. You can proceed like I did. Why do I place my hand like this? Take it, leave it, do the needle like this, do it like that. Sir, madam, actually, I'm telling you, look, do it like this, do it like that. You are free, you will succeed. If you've come this far, you're halfway there. Success is behind the door, just a few steps left. What is it?
Believe and persevere.
After that, it was about innovation, being innovative, making decisions. How will I enter the market? Emphasizing how important my visuals are. Emphasizing how important it is when I take my pictures. We will see all of this in this course. Yes, visuals mean packaging in our sales on social media or in the virtual world. Then let's continue from where we left off. Here, I created these 2 points. Besides that, what did this give me? It gave 6 centimeters, right? Well, sir, can't we take 6 from here as well? We took it. So can't we take 6 from here too? I'm adjusting it diagonally like this. We took it. This is the shoulder point, sir. The path is clear. It actually tells us to complete it. Okay, look, the sign is clear. All right, let's get to this point. In general, the biggest mistakes are made here. This, a wrong step or move here. It causes bulging in this area of the chest, and beyond bulging, it causes the flesh to protrude outward. What does this mean? You see the line we drew here, this area. So we won't open this. Let's see what will happen here. Let's also look at the point we marked here. It can also be marked here. So now I've marked here as well. Look, I've marked here. Where is 6 centimeters? You saw this part too. So can't the same process be done here? Then let's take 6 centimeters diagonally from here as well. Let's see. So I'm not saying this right now. Yes, we are not saying this is the definite result. After drawing the final line, it will show us the result. Is it right or wrong? Will it be enough or not? Is it too narrow or too wide? What kind of path do I need to draw? It will tell us here. Dear friends, the moment I pin one here at the exact bottom point, it will start talking to us. Yes, it has been drawn like this. When we take out these patterns, I do not give seam allowance on these systems for the armholes. I specifically do not give seam allowance for the armholes. What does this mean? Yes, if you don't give a seam allowance and then someone stitches here, it means it will open by 1 centimeter more. The places that are 6 centimeters will be opened to 7 centimeters. This means an average of 4 centimeters, 4.5 centimeters more comfort in the circle. However, we are not going down here. The place we took as 15 centimeters becomes a maximum of 16 centimeters from below. It also takes 1 centimeter from here.
What happened? It became 17. It will be a very comfortable armhole to use.
Now let's just leave it here like this. Let's take our thread. Let's frame it. Let's see what will happen with our balance. I'm starting like this. Up to this point, I have the needles. Look, let me leave the needles in place for now so we can discuss this. The lines where I placed the needles were entirely a starting visual and a sketch for myself. However, while laying the thread, while drawing the thread, I said, yes, for example, this needle is a bit off. Come closer right away.
Let's show it from the side angles. I said this needle was a bit off, and I moved it a bit this way, like this.
Look, I moved the thread here. While removing the pattern, I will proceed by reinforcing my bases according to my judgment. Right now, this armhole is sufficient for me. I also took my pins, fixed them, placed and fixed them. And this way, I can now remove these pins. Done. It turned out super. The only remaining point is just the collar, just the area where the collar is. My dear friends, the collar section can change. I mean, we can move it up and down when we are making our patterns. Let's just draw a small piece for now. Where should we start? Let's go from 0, like this, from 0. Let's not keep this collar section too high. How should I say? From the straight part, applicable for all mannequins, applicable for all mannequins. Let's not keep this area down like this. Let's start from the straight part. For example, when we look from the side, this part is oval. Let's take our mark from where the oval ends. Let's not take it from here. Let's take our mark from where the collar will stand straight and stop. I say this is suitable for me, and I start it straight. Look, I didn't take it from below.
Since it's a collar, to maintain the straightness of the collar, I started my pattern from here. Look, I didn't start from here.
I started from the flat area so that everything helps us at the neck. It's all experience. Well, if it gets ruined, if it breaks, let me say, if it breaks, it's experience. If we do it, great, it can break there. I mean, we can all break it. It's not a problem. I can break it too. You can also break it. Breakdowns happen, they do. If this scares us, we can't progress in our work. If we're afraid, we can't get things done. So let's not be afraid of this. Look at the back like this. I'm just not lowering the back. See, I'm also making sure this part is straight. Let's see these areas clearly from top to bottom. And now, look, we've also done the collar here. I didn't lower the nape down. If you lower the nape, it will bother you later. I'm not lowering this section so much by using a double needle, especially towards the end. I'm preserving these areas, and let me look at the starting point. Even this is a bit, let it go up like this. Let's do it and finish. We completed it. So let's immediately take our scissors. Let's cut off these excess parts. Get ready for super results. Get ready for super results. Let's see what will happen.
Okay, I think we got what we wanted. We prepared this many lines. When will we see the result?
Now we are starting. We will improve ourselves a bit more in mold stretching. Actually, I don't even look at the model. Look, I don't even need to hold the model. Why? We are free. I have experience now, that's why. However, I haven't held the model until now. Why? I don't feel the need to show it in the basic formation before the model.
Why? What is the basic formation?
It's already the foundation of all models. This is quite standard. At the beginning in this area we've reached now, it's actually the root region of the entire industry's tree. It's sycamore. They say from here, it goes up on top of this. In this area, friends, there is nothing you cannot do or produce. But what does it require?
It requires determination. It requires determination. Like me, you will always come. You will stay at your work and you will always be busy with something.
Oh, I'm tired. Yes, we can get tired. I get tired too.
However, work time is work. It's a duty. So this is not something done on a whim. It's a duty.
I will do my job well. Everyone will be satisfied. You will be satisfied. The explanation will be detailed. It will be as if I am describing myself. It will be as if I am just starting.
Yes, someone really teach me this. You are in the area. Let's continue with a sentence like this. Let it be welcome and let's look at our work. This is ready.
Alongside this, there is something we want now. What is it? Here it comes.
Things are starting now. Things are starting. Since this has come out, something will change. Let's do it this way. Dear friends,
In our patterns, there are generally techniques. What techniques? Fabric usage techniques.
There are certain key points that, oh my God, if you don't set them properly, if you don't set that first point properly, then the road just stretches on. The road doesn't end, right? It's like this, especially in the areas I experience. If I intervene early at this chest point, oh, just wait and wait. It doesn't end. It doesn't progress.
However, we will learn something such as how the first step should be, how the last step should be, how to turn before the last step. We are in a wonderful area where we will see all of these. All right, sir. Now we have muslin or calico or sackcloth. It appears in all three names it's known. Now you will ask, teacher, how many centimeters is the fabric? No, we don't have such a thing.
Now, if we ask how many centimeters the fabric is, how long it is, what we always need is from the collar.
What we need is to find the right material in the right place. Friends, during this course, Morgis and Moda Market provides everything you need. I send it to your address. The thickness of the American cloth we use in this lesson is ideal for the pattern. And Moda Market is so large and comprehensive that you can find many things under one roof. For example, let's talk about the rat tails we use in this training, rayon thread, satin threads, and in addition to this, original needles. These important needles we used in our fittings. Now, by going to ByArslan.com or downloading the mobile app, you can change and simplify your life. In the next episode, we will start making patterns. We are all entering a very exciting process. See you in the next episode. Take care. Don't forget to download the ByArslan mobile app and explore the materials there.